Alright, welcome back to the video. This time it's going to be a Kona Stuff 2002. So pretty stoked on this one. I've wanted a Kona since I first started building bikes. Yeah, so basically Toby was getting rid of a few frames and Darren hit me up and let me know about it. The only problem was that it was kind of far from Melbourne, so I kind of was thinking how I'd pick it up. But yeah, luckily Darren had a job out near where the frame was. He was able to pick it up for me. He went out of his way to do it. So, and then yeah, drop it off as well. So I was super grateful for that. So big thank you for Darren for doing that. And yeah, shout out to Toby for the frame as well. Hope you enjoy this vid. Cheers. All right, here's the frame. So basically it's a metallic gray kind of finish. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but in the sunlight you can see the metallic ink coming through. And it's got those cool old school Kona graphics, kind of like a bit of a fisheye lens effect on it. You can see headset cups there, take those out. The maladjusted store sticker from Canberra. 17 inches from center of the BB to top of the seat tube. And then the Kona clump 7005 custom buttered tubing. But yeah, made in Taiwan here. A little bit dirty, so I'm gonna clean up the BB a little bit. You can see on the stuff it has the wishbone chain stays, but I think for the higher models, roast and shoot, it has the square tapered ones. But yeah, this is the frame. Pretty hyped on it. Yeah, you can see a few stickers on there. Stuffed ED here, pretty funny. Here on the bottom, you can see there's like a slight dent on it. But yeah, free frame. I'm not complaining. Still gonna run it. I think it's not in an area that's gonna affect the bike too much. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty good. But yeah, even the Kona graphic on the bottom there, pretty sick, I reckon. Just a few spider webs and stuff like that, but clean up pretty well. There it is. Also came with this seat post, awesome looking seat post. It's 30.0. So yeah, pretty hyped on that because I think this size is like super hard to find, and this is a post that I would have got anyway. Something that's black and has kind of like a micro adjust. So yeah, pretty hyped on this. All I need is a seat clamp here, and I think I measured it. It's 34.9 millimeter seat clamp. You can see it fits in there pretty well. Alright, so clean up the frame here. So yeah, pretty straightforward. So what I do is I just brush it with a nylon brush first, clean it up, get all the spider webs and all the dirt off, and then here you can really inspect the frame to see if there are any dents or scratches or anything coming apart. But yeah, mine's pretty good except for that one dent. And then I just sprayed it with a light soap and detergent mix. Just spray the whole bike down, and then just basically wipe it down. Not too much to it here. Just make sure you don't clamp too hard on the tubing because it's aluminium. And then it's good having a bike frame because you can kind of turn it upside down in different angles and really get to every spot. That's basically all I did. Just clean it up. Cleaned the inside of the BB. That was a little bit dirty. Using the same spray again. Here you can see I use a little bit of WD-40 as well, just to help free all the gunk up in there. And then that came out pretty clean. You can see a little bit of a close-up here. Checked all the threads on this. This was good too. So ready for a fresh BB in there. This little sticker, made in Taiwan sticker, it was like peeling off, so I ended up peeling it off anyway. Just spray a little bit WD-40 and get rid of the resin. So next thing, I was going to take out this
headset cups because I'm going to get a new headset for this. And what I do is I basically just spray a little bit of penetrating oil on the cups first, just because I got this new tool. I don't want to take any risks. And yeah, you basically just slide the tool in and it's going to click through. And then once it clicks through, you basically just hammer it out again. So I put a little bit of cloth and a piece of cardboard on top because I don't have a rubber mallet. But yeah, just hammer that through, and then yeah, you can see I was a little bit unsure. I started with kind of small taps first, just to see how hard I need to hit it before it came out. And yeah, it ended up popping out after a bunch of taps. So that was it, pretty straightforward. I just let the tool drop through, and then just taking off the other side again. Yeah, you just slide the tool in, and yeah, wait for it to click so it kind of sits there nice and flush. And then yeah, this time it was pretty easy because I knew how much pressure to hammer it. I also put the frame on like a milk crate so it wouldn't like damage it too much. And yeah, this is a headset remover tool. It's old school Tioga Avenger. Darren actually gave me this as well, so shout out Darren for hooking me up with that. Came out really helpful. And yeah, that's the frame, all ready to go. Yeah, it looks super clean, I reckon. Looks super cool. Can't wait to build this up.
Yeah, another interesting thing is, yeah, a 17 is a medium, where after 2002, a medium's 15.5. So basically what Kona did was they kind of shrunk down their geo a little bit, made it a bit more aggressive, just to match up with what people were doing on their bikes back then. But yeah, 2002 is more of like half jump, half trails, where after 2002 is more directly dirt jump. So yeah, I don't know if that information helps anyone, but there you go.
Alright, so first we're gonna take a look at these forks, trying to freshen them up a little bit, see what we can do with them. You can see they're pretty chipped on the crown there, so hopefully I can fix that up. But yeah, we'll jump into it. So yeah, basically just taking off these plastic caps. Pretty easy here. They just screw on. So I guess yeah, just be careful taking them off in case they're old, if they crack or whatever. But yeah, that's it. And then what you want to do is kind of take the air pressure out. Yeah, just be careful when you're taking the air pressure out, because some fork oil could spray out. So just make sure you're in an area where yeah, it's okay to have fork oil go. But yeah, make sure the air is out before you unscrew the top. Yeah, and then this basically unscrewing the top. In the manual it said that it's a 21 mil. I only have a 22, so I just ended up using the 22, and it still worked. And then yeah, once you take the cap off, you got to drain the oil. So yeah, the oil in here, there was actually quite a fair bit. I looked up in the manual. It's meant to be 155 milliliters in each leg. And then just yeah, also when you're tipping it out, just be careful of the spring and the spacer falling out. So yeah, I just put that off to one side. And then yeah, basically you just do the same with the other side. Just take the cap off and pour the oil out. Make sure you dispose of the oil in the right way. And then here, just undoing the bottom of the leg here, those bottom nuts. So yeah, what you need to do is you need to put the spring and the spacer back in, and also the cap, so it has some pressure pushing onto it, so you're able to kind of unwind it. And yeah, once you do that, it should come off pretty easy. And then yeah, just do the same thing with the other leg. Yeah, nothing too crazy here for me. Everything seemed to work pretty well. And then yeah, I just keep everything on that tray just because it holds the oil and then you don't kind of lose parts or anything. And here, just pulling off the legs. Just be careful when you're pulling it off. You don't want to damage the seals. So yeah, I just took my time. You can see those legs kind of can pop out as well where that silver bit is. Yeah, you can see them go in and out. But yeah, just wipe them down, give them clean, make sure all the oil's out. And yeah, here I'm just inspecting the inside of the shoe here. So mine was actually, I noticed there was a little plastic bit that bent down from the stanchions. So if you ever put them in last, or I don't know what happened, if they just got damaged somehow, so I ended up just flipping that little plastic bit back up. And what I'm going to do is just kind of load it up with silicone grease, and then hopefully it works well. But yeah, here just cleaning the stanchions. I just use watered down detergent spray, a little bit of soap in there as well. But yeah, just kind of hard filming this and doing this, so I kind of showed you what it looks like a little bit. But yeah, basically once it's all clean, you wipe them down, you try to clean the inside as well. And then that's basically all I did. I didn't take off the inner legs just because I don't have one of the tools needed. You need like a circular pliers tool, so I kind of just wiped them down. And here what I want to do is kind of I want to fix up the crown because it's really chipped. So I was thinking, yeah, I'll either sand it down or respray it. And then what I did was I wrapped up the stanchions using some plastic bags from just Coles. You just one of those grocery bags, just cut them in half and then just tape it with low-tack tape. This is just normal masking tape, but any kind of low-tack tape would work. And then yeah, you just tape it onto the plastic bag, tape half of the tape onto the stanchion so it doesn't slip down. And yeah, that should work out pretty well. And then here I'm just putting those top caps back on, just because if I'm sanding or painting, I don't want to get any dust inside the stanchions there. So yeah, just put the caps on to be safe. And then yeah, I also put a little bit of masking tape on the little air valve because I didn't want dust going in there as well. So yeah, just a little bit of preparation is gonna like make your job a lot easier. But yeah, that's basically all wrapped, all ready to go. Yeah, they're wrapped all the way down to the bottom of the leg there of the stanchion. So yeah, so I'm gonna so I can clean this up. You can see it's in pretty rough shape, some corrosion and paint's chipping. Yeah, just in focus there. Yeah, so next thing I did was just using that light detergent mix. It's just poured in a little bit of detergent and just spray it on. Use a wire brush. Try to brush off all the flaking paint. The paint actually like came off pretty easily. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah, there's some corrosion. So I just try to get rid of all the flaking paint with a wire brush, just so yeah, if you're painting or sanding it down, it's gonna get rid of most of the work for you already. Yeah, this is what it looks like. I also did a light sand with 600 wet and dry, just over the whole thing to give it just a more even finish. I didn't film it, but yeah, I don't know how interesting sanding is, but yeah, I decided I wasn't gonna polish it, but instead just to spray it black because I like kind of like the black look, and then polishing it would have taken a while too. But here, yeah, I'm just stuffing some kitchen towel into the stanchions. I took the caps off and because I didn't want the caps to get paint on them, so I just used tissue to kind of protect the inside of the stanchions here. And then here, just using this sprayed up bike paint that I got from my old diamond bag, has some left over. It's kind of, the can was also empty, so I was kind of just trying to milk it for its worth. But yeah, I ended up having enough, which was awesome. But yeah, this This paint, yeah, one thing I like about it is the curing time. It kind of cures really quick, like almost in an hour or something like that. Don't quote me on it, but it sets really fast, so you can kind of move on to the next stage pretty quick. So yeah, shout out au.spray.bike for hooking me up way back. I'm still using the same can. But yeah, here just do light even coats when you're spraying it. Make sure you wear a mask when you're spraying it as well. Otherwise, I don't know, something might happen. But here, yeah, this is what it looks like when it's finished. Pretty good, I think. But yeah, after that, I had some leftover clear coat as well from Deluxe that I used on another project. This is just like a craft clear coat. I don't know if it's super strong or anything, but I think, I'm going to try and protect it somehow. And since I had it left over, I just give it a spray. So yeah, just make sure you do a light test spray on the cardboard to make sure your nozzle is good, and then just do light sprays all over. And yeah, that's basically what I did. I actually had a semi-gloss and a matte, so I did the semi-gloss first and then finished it up with the matte. I don't know if that matters at all, but yeah, basically 2 coats should do it. And yeah, another tip is just make sure you spray from all angles, because with clear spray it's kind of hard to see, so you just want to make sure you get all the coverage. And then here, I don't think I waited that long, maybe like an hour or two, and then I just start peeling this off. But yeah, it gave me a pretty clean line at the top there. I didn't get any paint on the stanchions, which was good. But yeah, you can see stanchion's a little bit chipped, but yeah, there's not much you can do about that. I think some people have used nail polish to kind of touch up the stanchions, but some people say even nail polish doesn't stick, so I'm just going to leave it. And then here, yeah, just taking out the tissue paper. Yeah, here, that's what it looks like. I think it looks pretty good. Definitely good enough for me. Alright, so next we're going to put the forks back together, and I got this Linoleum grease. Is kind of silicone grease. So yeah, the reason you use this because you don't want the grease to kind of wear down your seals, the rubber seals. You don't want it to eat away at the rubber. But yeah, basically I put it on the end of the legs, and then all on the inside of the seals as well, just to make sure, yeah, I'm not going to damage them. And if you remember from before, there was like a little bit that came up, so I just want to make sure it goes in pretty easy. So yeah, just take your time, just push it through, and yeah, it should go in pretty easily. And then here, yeah, grease up those little caps on the end of the legs as well, or the shoe. And then yeah, you should be able to just screw it in if the inner leg is poking out, but if it's not, you can just use a spring and just drop it in. And when you drop it in, it should push that little end out, and you should be able just to yeah, tighten it by hand. So yeah, basically I just tighten it up by hand first, and then what you need to do to make it a little bit tighter is you got to end up yeah, you got to put the spring in and the spacer in, just to give it some friction again, and put the cap on, and that will help you be able to kind of like tighten those bolts on the end. If you don't have the spring and the spacer and the cap in, the stanchion is going to, or the inside leg stanchion thing is just going to keep spinning around. So yeah, you kind of need that little extra bit of friction. And then yeah, just do that on both sides. Pretty easy. This is how tight I do it. Not super tight, but just tight enough where you kind of close all the pressure. Yeah, it's meant to be 10 Newton meters. I don't have a torque wrench, so I just freestyled it. But yeah, it's got to be tight enough so the fork oil isn't going to leak out. But yeah, don't go ham on it, otherwise it'll snap. But yeah, here just putting fork oil in. I just used motorbike oil that I had from last time from the Marzocchi. So yeah, just 7.5 weight. So here, just putting 155 milliliters on each side, and then yeah, basically you drop the spring and the spacer in on the left leg of the fork. But yeah, pretty straightforward. It's 10 Newton meters on the top caps as well. So yeah, just kind of do them up tight. And then here, yeah, kind of all done, just showing you how they work. So yeah, I haven't put any air pressure in there just because I don't have my air pump hasn't arrived yet, but I'll do that later. But yeah, they seem to be working pretty good. And then here we're going to install the crown. I just have an FSA headset, but yeah, I got this crown tool from Darren. Shout out Darren for coming up with this. So yeah, this tool is so awesome. You kind of just tap on it and you don't need to hammer anything, and it installs it. You can kind of tell by the sound when it's installed. But yeah, super simple, super easy. Yes, sometimes having the right tool makes life a lot easier. And yeah, here's the tool. Yeah, same as the headset remover, Tioga Avenger, kind of like an old school one. Pretty hyped on that. And then here, I don't have a headset installer tool, but I got a makeshift one. It's just a bolt and two spacers, and they press down on each side. But yeah, basically just grease it up, put the bolt through, and line up your headset caps. Just make sure that as vertical or as yeah, just make sure they're going in straight, and you shouldn't have a problem. Here you can also, it's the time to kind of adjust the rotation of your headset. I did it so my FSAs line up to the front. You don't have to do this, but yeah, once you put them in, you're not going to be able to turn them, so may as well do it now. But yeah, basically you just use some shifters and yeah, tighten them up until you can't do it anymore, or until the headset goes in flush, and that's it. Pretty simple. Yeah, and then I just end up putting the forks in, a little bit of grease here and there. Yeah, just to make things slide in a little bit easier. And then that's it, all done. So headset installed, forks done. Pretty hyped on how the crown turned out. I think it turned out pretty good. The headset looks cool, I reckon, as well, like the black with the silver. Here's here's the drive side shot. I think it looks pretty cool. The Geo looks pretty rad, I reckon, with the bigger forks. Yeah, pretty excited to finish off this one. Still got a few more parts coming, and yeah. Alright, little status update. I'm almost there with all the parts, so yeah, I should be able to get it rolling pretty soon. But yeah, a lot of people donated stuff for this build, so I'm pretty hyped on that. Yeah, shout out Toby and Darren for the frame, Chris for the fork and the wheels, Tom for the unitubes. Shout out those dudes. The Sonic bars I bought off Johnny, aka Sydney Retro Mountain Bike. Yeah, he gave me a free FSA sticker, so shout out to that. Turbo saddle was a donation from Jackson a while back. Thank you, Jackson. This chain I bought. Chromag, quick release. I did a little resto on this on my Instagram. Check out my Instagram highlights. Seat post I got with the frame. Shout out Toby and Darren. Yeah, this little 32 tooth old chain ring, and these cranks I just had on the old Specialized that I bought. The cranks look pretty cool, so I thought it'd work well. Bottom bracket from the Carbon Giant. Shout out Josh for donating that. You can see it's pretty rough condition, but it actually spins really smoothly. So I'm going to try and fix this up. And then, yeah, just a couple of single speed cogs that I had and some spacers. I don't have all the spacers here, so I'm going to try to see if I can find some more. But yeah, that's basically everything. Still waiting on the derailleur hanger because they sent the wrong one. But yeah, we'll see how we can get on. Alright, fixing the wheels from Chris, aka Bike Dad. Just patching up a few holes with electrical tape. Pretty easy there. One of the wheels didn't have any rim tape at all, so I just wrapped it around 3 times with electrical tape again. Yeah, once you do that, just make sure you pop a hole for the tube valve. Here, just showing you my makeshift truing stand. Yeah, basically just turn a bike upside down, put a couple of zip ties on there to help you true the wheel. And you can kind of also see, like, yeah, there's a few hops there on the rim as well. So yeah, I just got to true the wheel. Yeah, I actually did this on my Hillman build, but I can't remember if I covered it or not. So yeah, I'll show you now. But yeah, you can see there's a few dents here and there. I didn't show every one, but I will fix those. So yeah, what you do is basically just cut the zip ties so you can kind of line them up with the rim. And then I filed the ends of the zip ties as well because I didn't want to scratch the rim. You don't have to do this. But yeah, basically it just rubs along the side, and then you can tighten the spokes whichever side to fix it up. Here I just put a drop of WD-40 on every nipple, and yeah, just make sure you go around, check all the spokes, make sure there's no loose spokes. If they're loose, tighten those up first, and then yeah, you just want to go around and make sure the tension's kind of similar. And then what you do is use the spoke tool, and you go, if you're looking down at it, it's right to tighten and left to loosen. And basically just follow that. Tighten the spokes on the side that you want it to bend to, and then you can loosen the other side to give it some slack. But yeah, that's basically it. You can see here I kind of did that, and you can see it's pretty true, but it has like hops in it. So I also realized there was dents in the rim, so I got to fix that up before I fix the hop. But yeah, basically I just use a shifter and a towel and just bend it out. Nothing too crazy here, but yeah, it does the job, you know. But yeah, you can see here where I've bent it back. It's pretty straight enough, I think. Yeah, not perfect, but it'll work. And then yeah, to fix the hops, you just basically loosen the spokes where the hops are, and then tighten it where it isn't, and hopefully it can kind of squash it back. But yeah, I just did it as best I could. Sometimes if the rim is bent, then there's no way I can fix it. Here, yeah, just cleaning it with some WD-40 on those tough stains, but you can also just use light detergent spray. And then here, yeah, just clean up the whole rim. I think it's looking pretty good. The front wheel was pretty good already, so I kind of just need to clean it. But yeah, that's it for the wheels. Alright, got to clean up the seat post here. And some of these chainring bolts, you can see I have a bit of rust on them. Yeah, gonna try to clean that up a little bit. Yeah, so I had these bolts from another Ozonic stem that I'm gonna switch out on my Specialized so I can get the Ozonic Shorty for this one. I've just been having trouble finding the right stem, so I'm just gonna do this for now till I find one. But yeah, just gonna basically soak these bolts in vapor rust. Just put it in a small jar, give it a shake, and leave it overnight. Alright, just the next day, just gonna pour it out. Yeah, you can see it's looking pretty good already, so I'm gonna give these a clean. Yeah, so what I do after it's been vaporized, I just rinse them out with water, give them a spray with WD-40, and I use a little brush to kind of brush out all the remaining rust and gunk. But yeah, here's what it looks like. Things looking pretty good. Yeah, so next I'm gonna clean the seat posts, just get rid of all the dirt in there. Yeah, just give it a wash, pretty straightforward. Clean it with like a rag, WD-40 if you need to. Here you can see I'm just putting some grease in all the parts that move, just grease it all up again. It's going to make it last way longer. But yeah, you can see it's all done, super clean, all greased up, everything's moving pretty nicely. And that's it for the seat post. Alright, you can see this is the Azonic Shorty stem. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I took this off my Specialized until I find the right stem, but I think it's going to go well with the build. Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, here's clean up the chainring. Just WD-40 and a brush. But yeah, pretty straightforward, this one. Alright, clean up the crank, same thing. Just a light detergent spray and just wipe them down. Alright, just putting it on the crank there. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to go on the outside or the inside yet, but I'll figure that out soon. And then here, just cleaning out the bottom bracket. Same deal again, just use a brush and some detergent spray, WD-40 if you need to. And then I also use a pin to kind of run through the threads a little bit just to clean those up as well. But yeah, basically it's just putting in the work, cleaning it up. But I think it ended up turning out pretty good. Yeah, you can see the bottom bracket. You know, as clean as I could get it. Spins really good. Here's the cup as well. Yeah, the crank's cleaned up pretty well. There wasn't too much to do there. There's a few chips on it, but yeah, what are you gonna do? Chainring was good. Stem was fine. Already cleaned that, and then yeah, the seat post was looking good. Right, just putting the bike together as much as I can anyway. So yeah, you can see here I put the tires on the rims, tires and tubes on the rims. They're pretty good. I didn't film it because I guess it's pretty straightforward. But yeah, I'm sure there's tutorials out there if you need to. Here, just putting some grease on the BB before I put it in. Yeah, just grease up the threads all the way around. I also put a little grease in the bottom bracket as well. And then yeah, I just basically what I'm doing here, I'm just screwing it finger tight so I can work out the chain line. Yeah, put in the other cup on the other side as well. Don't forget to grease that up. But yeah, here basically what you do is you put your crank arm on, just fit it on, and then get a ruler or in my case a tape measure and just try to line it up to the hub. Make sure it's kind of parallel to the wheel, and what you have to do is also factor in that your crank arm is going to move in 5 mil closer to the hub once it's properly installed, so factor in that. Put on the chain ring and then take a look. So I think mine's pretty good once I actually install the crank and it goes 5 millimeters inside. It's actually not that important for single speeds because once I get the recog and spacers, you can kind of move it around. But yeah, I thought I'd show you guys anyway. Yeah, now that I have the chain line done, I'm going to put my chain ring on the crank. But yeah, I realized that for some reason it didn't fit, and then when I turned around the chain ring on the other side, I noticed there were these little rivet things. So yeah, you can see it's pretty close, but yeah, it's not. The chainring bolt's not going to go through, so I got to fix this up. Yeah, I know I'm going to get this comment, but people are going to say, "Oh, why don't you just flip it over and run it like that?" Yeah, it does work this way, but I just like the look of it the other way, so I'm just going to fix it. So yeah, basically just use the hacksaw and also a file. But basically that's it. Yeah, you can see, yeah, this is what it looks like after I've done it. Probably highly unnecessary, but there you go. And then here, just putting on the chain ring onto the crank arm. Just a little grease on the threads, and that's it. I think it's looking pretty good. Alright, here just putting on the crank on. Yeah, just make sure you grease up your tapers there. I'm also tightening up my bottom bracket because it was just finger tight. And then here just putting on the crank bolt on. Here doing the same with the other side. Make sure you just tighten it pretty tight. And the same with the crank arm, pretty tight here. Yeah, and here I just want to show you, this is before I installed the crank arm, so you can see the gap. And then here's after. So yeah, I reckon 3 to 4 millimeters So yeah, just be aware of that. Yeah, another question that may come up is just why didn't I put the ring on the inside? Yeah, if I put the ring on the inside, you can see it's not going to fit at all. All right, putting the seat post clamp on, just a little bit of grease on the top. Yeah, line up the gap with the gap in the frame, and that's it. Putting the seat post in, put a little grease in the tube, a little bit of grease on the post. Yeah, if you ever had a stuck seat post, you'll always remember to grease up your seat post. But yeah, that's basically it. Here, just putting on, putting on the stem. Yeah, I actually didn't need any spacers, so it kind of fit perfect, which was awesome. So put on the top cap, make sure your forks still turn smoothly, and then tighten up the stem there. And then yeah, putting on these high-rise bars here. Just basically tighten the front plate in a star pattern, just by finger tight first, and then a little bit tighter. And then here, just putting on the saddle. All right, that's it so far. Yeah, I think the bike is looking pretty dope. Yeah, I think it's coming along pretty well. So yeah, I'm still waiting for the rear hanger, and I ordered a single speed kit. So because I couldn't find any more spaces, so just waiting for that to come. I have a chain already, and the pedals I might just use those Odyssey triple traps. But yeah, maybe some grips, maybe some brakes. I might redo the rear hub, maybe new bearings in the rear hub. But yeah, that's it so far. Pretty hyped on it. All right, starting off with a quick little tip: if you work on your bike indoors a lot, and you want something to protect the bar ends, I just put 2 pieces of cardboard in there and fold them out, and that seems to work pretty well for me. And here I got that single speed kit with the spacers. You can see the different sizes and a 16 tooth cog. And then, yeah, just take off the nut there to put it on. But yeah, I also wanted to clean the inside of there. It was looking pretty nasty. So I end up taking some of the spacers off with just a shifter, and then cleaning the inside with a cotton bud. And yeah, that seemed to work pretty well. So after doing that, just put the nut back on, and that's it. And here, just putting all the spacers in, putting the cog on. I just lined it up to the middle to begin with, and then once you get your chain line right, you can kind of like move it to however you want. But yeah, you can just do it up loose for now before you kind of size up your chain line. So yeah, that's on there pretty good. Yeah, to size up your chain line, I just put my bike upside down, and you want to make sure it's kind of straight and parallel to the wheel and to your bottom bracket. So yeah, sometimes it's hard just to kind of eye it out, but what you can do is just put your chain on, make sure it's just put on loose for now, and then just see like if it's straight, and that's pretty straight enough for me. So I end up doing it like that. So after that's done, I put this the hanger on because I was missing a hanger. Yeah, it took me ages to get this hanger because initially they sent the wrong one. They sent one that was different to the one that was shown in the pictures for some reason, and then yeah, I had to kind of hit them up, and then they sent me the right one. Here's a chain tensioner I got from eBay. Yeah, I was a little bit wary about this just because I didn't see a lot of reviews online or anyone using them. But you can adjust the spring by changing the position of where that little thing goes in the hole, if you want more or less tension. And yeah, I don't know, it's pretty decent for how much it costs. I think you can use a plastic jockey wheel. You can switch that out if you want it to be a little quieter. But yeah, I'm just going to run it like this. And then yeah, I had to connect it to my rear derailleur hanger with this barrel adjuster because I didn't have a M10 bolt. But yeah, I'll probably try and find one in the future. And here I just sent off the end because I didn't like the red. But yeah, that's all they had, so kind of make do with what you got. Here's the groove of where it's meant to sit in your kind of dropouts next to the axle. But for some reason, like mine didn't fit because my frame went down there for some reason. But yeah, I ended up connecting it to the rehanger anyway, and I think that looks pretty cool like that. Looks a little bit cleaner. If you're looking for a derailleur bolt, it's M10 1.0 pitch. It's a fine pitch. I did the research on it, and it's like you can't just get it at Bunnings because it's a little bit more specialized. But yeah, here it is. This is how it looks. I think it looks pretty sick. I end up putting some tape over the red, just a black electrical tape, just to give it a cleaner look, just because I don't have any red on my bike. It has red on the other side, but you don't really see it anyway, so yeah, it's just too lazy to sand it. But yeah, I think it looks pretty sick like this. So pretty pleased. We'll give it a rip, and yeah, we'll see how it holds up. I'll do a review maybe in the future. The next thing, gonna put the chain on, but before you put the chain on, you gotta give it a wash because it has, like, I don't know, some type of sticky grease on it. I actually had to wash this like 3 times. It's just like a light detergent mix, but I had to wash it a bit. But yeah, after you wash it, just make sure you lube it again. And here, just sizing the chain. So basically, you just do it as tight as you can go. But you can see how this is as tight as it can go, but the links don't match up. So I ended up having to just go one link for it to connect. And then that ended up being a good size for me because the chain tensioner is going to take away all the slack. But yeah, here, just me putting it together, ended up pretty well. You can see here has a little bit of slack in the chain, so I ended up making the chain tensioner a little bit tighter in the next slot, and yeah, it ended up being perfect. Here's after I did the chain tensioner again. You can see it's pretty straight, the chain on top and bottom, pretty tight. And then when I drop it, not that much chain slap at all. My neighbors probably thinking like, what the hell is this guy doing? But yeah, it worked. This is how it looks. So what you do is just make sure you just lube up your chain like that, all the way around, and you're good. The next thing I did was I just decided to take off all the decals because just clean the bike up a little bit. You don't really need to have it say 17 inch. I can remember that, so end up taking it off. So just use a hairdryer and just some WD-40 around the edges, and eventually it comes off. Really no problems here. And then just WD-40 just to clean off the sticky residue again. That worked well. Here, just taking off the ED as well. Not too much to it actually. Just use the same process, clean up, and that's it. And here, the pedals that I'm using are these Primo pedals. I think they're really good. They kind of like spin well, and they're pretty grippy. They have a cool shape to it as well. But I've taken these out to the trails or whatever on my other bike, and sometimes you get this like mud or dirt kind of stuck in. And just an easy way to clean it up is just use a wire brush and just brush it out. It works really well. And then I just want to clean this up for the build, so everything kind of feels fresh when I first ride it. But that's it. Next thing, put the pedals on. Pretty straightforward here. Just put on some grease. I just do it finger tight first, just to get it threaded on both pedals, and then after that I just use the wrench and just crank it down. just crank them down pretty tight. Just make sure it's not so tight you're stripping the threads. But yeah, just nice and solid. And that's it for the pedals. Alright, next we've got to put some air in the forks, and yeah, these caps just screw off. I also got this little shock pump, has a little gauge on the end, nothing too special, but yeah, it kind of does the job. Has a little release valve on that red button there, which is cool. And then here, yeah, I don't know, I've never really used a shock pump before, but this seems like a weird way to kind of wind it on, where you got to spin the whole tool around. I don't know if other tools are like that, but for this one, it was like that. Yeah, so basically you just screw it down and make sure that yellow bit is like tight and the black bit's down all the way. And then when you undo it, you just undo the black bit and that kind of pops off. But yeah, you gotta look on the manufacturer's site on what pressures you need. I have the little Marzocchi chart here, and I just went on the lowest for now. And what you do is you kind of just hop on a bike, see how it feels. If you've never kind of done like shocks before, you kind of just gotta just start off with what they recommend, and then ride around and see what you like, and then adjust it accordingly. But yeah, that's the only real way to find out. And yeah, and then just screw the caps back on, just finger tight. Yeah, I did a little questionnaire on people's favorite grips on Instagram. Thank you everyone who sent in their favorite grips. A lot of cool grips out there. I ended up picking these DMR Death grips. Pretty hyped on them. I got the thick version because they were sold out of thin. But yeah, they weren't as thick as I thought, so that's good. But yeah, basically tapped them on, tightened a little bolt on the lock ring, and that's basically it. That was the last thing I need to do to get the bike rolling. So here's the bike.
Alright, that's the video. Hope you liked it. Yeah, I'm super stoked on the bike. It's like super solid. The chain tensioner works really well, and yeah, I'm feeling the grips as well. Yeah, I still got brakes coming for the bike, but yeah, just gotta wait till after lockdown before I can pick them up. So yeah, this is probably gonna be an upgrade video after this one. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Let me know what you think, and see you next time. Peace.
Alright, so I got this little brake kit. Comes with like a syringe, a tube, this little cup with a little plunger and a little stand. Also, this kit comes with 100 milliliters of mineral oil, so yeah, it was just easy just to buy that little set. And then here I got the new brake pads as well. This Shimano B01S. Yeah, I just had to look up which ones fit my caliper, but yeah, these are organic pads, so they should be kind of quiet, I've read. And then yeah, they come with 3 pins as well. But yeah, all the pins are kind of different, but there's matching pins in the other bag as well. So yeah, I'm gonna put these on and see how they go. But yeah, here just opening up, you can see here's the pads. This is what they look like, and they're fresh. Yeah, I've never done disc brakes before, so I don't know how they're meant to look, but they seem pretty good, you know. But yeah, what I'm going to do is just sand off the top layer. I've read that you kind of got to break them in a little bit, and sanding them off is going to help bed them, and they're going to break better once you do that. But yeah, you can see the 3 different types of pins. I'm just going to use the pin that matches closely to the pin that I have now. But yeah, I'm not sure on the difference of the pins. But yeah, one looks like it's made of different material. But yeah, here just sanding them back a little bit, just using 600 wet and dry, nothing too crazy. I didn't go too hard on this, just try to take that first layer off. And then here, just undoing the caliper bolts, and I just let it hang on the side. I gave a rotor a little bit of a clean. I also wore gloves just because you're not meant to get oil on the rotor or the brake pads. And then here, I just use this little Avid plastic thing to push the pistons in with the brake pads still in there. So just push against the brake pads and then just slide it out. And then here's the new brake pads. Just putting that metal thing in between them. And then yeah, you just slide it in and put the pin in. And then yeah, just bend the pin out a little bit with the pair of pliers, and that's basically it. So yeah, it wasn't too hard at all here. When you bang the pins, just be careful you don't scratch the caliper, and then just bend it so it feels like it's not going to come out. You can see here I'm just testing it a little bit. And then after you do that, you just put it back on, and then yeah, just put it on loose, and then you just squeeze the brake lever just to help center it. And then after that, you just tighten the bolts, give it a spin, make sure it's not scraping, and then that's pretty good, pretty easy. And then yeah, same thing with the front, just unloosen the bolts. Yeah, same process here. I just wiped it, turned the wheel, wiped the rotor a bit, just bang the pin here just to get it out. Yeah, I'm surprised. Like, I think just because for the low end one they use these pins, but I think for the high end brake calipers they actually have bolts. Yeah, it's always I just thought it's always funny. It's just someone just decide to use pins just to hold your brakes together. Doesn't seem like it's like fully designed, but yeah, I guess it's kind of like a cost saving thing that Shimano does for their lower end brakes. But yeah, I think the higher ones have like a little bolt that goes through. And then here, yeah, just making sure there's space between the pads. I use that plastic lever just to push them out. And then yeah, just give it a spin, make sure it's not scraping, tighten it up, and that's it. Here I'm going to give it a quick lever bleed. So the first thing you do is make sure the lever is horizontal because there's mineral oil inside here. And then what you got to do is just take this little cap off and when you take the cap off, there's a little O-ring here, so just make sure you don't lose that, and make sure you just get it out, because when you put in the cup has its own little O-ring, and then just screw it in. You don't have to screw it in super tight, but just tight enough so no oil is going to come out, just because the threads are plastic, so just don't snap it or anything. But just finger tight, and then I don't think I needed to plunge in there, so I just took it out, and then and then just pour mineral oil in there. You can see that I've kind of like hit the lever a few times. You're probably not meant to do that before you put the oil in, because you don't want to get any air in there. But what you can do is just tap, hold the lever and tap the cable as well, and then as you press it, bubbles should come out, and you just do it until there's no more bubbles anymore. And then basically I did the same on the other side. Make sure the lever is horizontal, and then I just transferred the little cup straight to the other side. Make sure you put the plunger in before you transfer, otherwise mineral oil is going to drop out. But here you can see how it works. So just pumping the brakes, giving the cable a little tap with the lever pulled in. But so when I was doing this, there was actually like tons of little bubbles coming out, and then you can see that the liquid is like turning black. So I thought, oh, that's probably not good. I should probably give this full bleed instead of just a lever bleed. So I ended up doing that. So I just basically take the wheel off. Same as before. I ended up taking the wheel off and the pads out, just because I don't want to get mineral oil in them in case I like stuff it up. But then here, you need a bleed block for the pistons to press against when you're pulling down the lever to kind of get all the bubbles out. So I ended up using the old pads and then kind of like 2 of those plastic things, just shove it in there just to make sure when you're pulling the lever that it's not pressing in all the way. Alright, so that's kind of what it looks like. If you don't have old brake pads, you can kind of put this piece of plastic in there or something, just make sure it's got something to press against. But this worked for me. And then here you got to take off this little cap for the bleed valve, and then connect your syringe and the tube on there. Make sure it's kind of airtight. And then after you connected this, we're going to go back to the lever and undo that to kind of create a seal. Undo it. Make sure you can make it horizontal or 45. Some people say 45, so I was just trying that. But you want to create a seal so there's no air from the top, so you just fill it up with liquid. I ended up just tilting it a little bit more and then putting more liquid in, maybe like about 1 inch, because I'm pulling the liquid out from the other end. And then here there's a little release valve on top, which is just an Allen key for this caliper. Some of it I think is could be a little more liquid than I need to, but first time, so whatever. And then here you can see, pulling on the lever, there's no bubbles, so I'm going to plunge it up here, unscrew it off, and then just put the cap back on. When you're screwing down this little bolt, usually oil comes out, so you just have a kind of tissue handy or a cloth handy just to wipe it up. And then here, just putting on the new brake pads back on, putting the wheel in, making sure it's not scraping when you spin it. So I ended up doing another lever bleed on the back brake, just because it felt a little bit more squishy compared to the front. After I did that, it was pretty close, but still a little bit different. I'm thinking because the cable is longer on the back than the front, but let me know if you know. And then after that, you just got to bed in your brakes. So you squeeze the brake levers down 3/4 of the way and ride down a hill or something, and it should put even wear on your pads and your rotors. And then after that, it was good.
All right, that's the video. Yeah, you can see I've blown out the cranks there, blown out the square taper. So yeah, gonna have to get some new cranks now, just when I thought the bike was finished. But yeah, let me know what you think. If you have any tips for me on the brake bleed, let me know. That was my first time. And yeah, stay tuned for the next episode. Peace.